I am planning on doing is showing you how the volunteering process and the flow for the users works on the platform, what they can then do if if you're working with particular volunteers that perhaps are doing Duke of Edinburgh or need to have some kind of proof of their volunteering, the bits that they can print off from the platform to have verification of their volunteering, and also how you, as the volunteer managers behind the scenes, can approve, decline, message, and log their hours. So what I've done is I've got myself set up on two browsers. So I'll try and tell you when I flip between the two, and I'm logged in as two different accounts. So I'm logged in as, and sorry, as well, this is all looks blue because I'm doing it on a demonstration platform rather than on Wiltshire Together. So I'm not messing up the statistics of the platform and creating a lot of rubbish on there that people might be confused by. So yes, the volunteer manager in this scenario is Ashley Morrison, who's created a volunteering opportunity where they need French-speaking helpers needed for an event in a day centre. You can see that they've added how many volunteers that they require. So they require 3. One person's pledged to volunteer already, so there's 2 spaces remaining for volunteers to take up. And Ashley can come back to this page and see how many views it's had in terms of the reach of how many people have looked at it, and also see what the activity would look like to a volunteer, so that she can hopefully make some improvements to attract volunteers to get involved. So this example is obviously a demonstration one. It's got not very much information added into it, but there has been a venue that's added which links off to the Google Maps pin. It's got the information about when the volunteers are needed, so it's an every week thing on Fridays. The contact information to get in touch, and that's what they've provided. There might be more if they'd chosen those options. So if I go to my other tab, I'm logged in as someone called Jackie, who's registered as a volunteer on this demonstration platform. Assuming this was Wiltshire Together, it's a very similar sort of layout in terms of a homepage with a logo at the top. And then when you scroll down, you get to all of the community activities that are available on it. So this particular example is the very first one here, but it could be that Jackie wants to find out how to volunteer, so she could search by volunteer opportunities, and she would find all of the volunteering opportunities that are available on the platform. In this case, there's 11. There's quite a few more on Wiltshire Together, luckily. And it's this volunteering opportunity that we're going to have a little look at. So you can see that from Jackie's point of view, she can also see the information saying how many are required, and the fact that there's 1 volunteer already. And when she clicks into this, she has an option to volunteer to the activity. So what she'd do is put in her name and her message. Maybe there's a little tip about her adding in her availability, her experience, that sort of thing. So I'll just put an example, but your volunteers would put a bit more in. You can also have links to application forms where they can apply off of the platform if they need to, and the volunteer would submit their interest to this, and you can then see that the request is pending, so she can't keep volunteering or pledging to volunteer. She can only pledge to volunteer once, and she's got to wait for Ashley to get in touch and take her up on that volunteering offer. So if I head back to Ashley, and hopefully if it's all updated enough, yeah, so you can see that 24 seconds ago, Jackie wants to volunteer on your request. French-speaking helpers needed for it, and it's a notification that you can delete or mark as read, but hopefully you'll click on it and follow through to the page where you can manage your volunteers. So this is within an area called the personal dashboard. It's the private place that only Ashley can manage and get hold of, and she's from that notification, which would also have gone to her email, she's gone straight to this place where she can manage volunteers. So you can see all the quick links to view the activity as we saw originally, so what it would appear like for volunteers, to edit the activity if you need to make changes, and also end it if you don't want any more volunteers to apply. You've also got a little table of stats saying when it was started, how many people have responded, and the number of hours that have been completed, and by unique volunteers. So it allows you to have volunteers that will volunteer multiple times if you need to have repeat volunteers coming back week after week. And then here at the bottom, you can see the volunteer pledges that are connected to this. And these are all separated into tabs here. So when you look at accepted with 0, there's nothing showing yet, but you've got 2 new, which is where your notification will take you to. So you can see I've set up 2 examples. We've got a demo test one, which I'm going to decline, and then this Jackie Green one, which I'll accept. So if someone's pledged to volunteer, you might have sent them a message and communicated with them, and they just decided not to go ahead, you can use the decline button, which will decline that request and move it into the decline tab. So now you've just got Jackie's pledge to deal with. So you can send them a message on the platform. If I'll open that up in another tab for you there. And it's opened up the new message box, already pre-filled to go to Jackie. So you just need to write a message going, whatever you're trying to say about volunteer, merging it. Hi, Jackie. It'd be great to have a call. Are you free to ring me tomorrow? Put a number in. Whatever your message would need to be to send to Jackie, you can do that and click send. And that will say that it'll be sent successfully. From here, I could go back to my inbox and message other people, but what I'm going to do is just go back to this tab here, just in readiness for the next bit of it. So Ashley has now sent a message to Jackie Green. She's not accepted or declined her yet. She wants to have a little call and a chat. Go to the other browser and look at Jackie. Jackie will now have a new message in her inbox from Ashley here. It says unread message, and you'll see that it's connected to this volunteering. So because this is a demonstration platform, we've got both time banking and volunteering running on here. So Ashley and Jackie have previously used for demonstrating, and they're connected through a time banking exchange as well. So it's linked to that one, but it would just say the most recent volunteering example on Wiltshire Together. So you've got a message thread now with between Ashley and Jackie. Jackie could reply saying yes, they could arrange and have their phone call, and at that point you'll probably arrange to complete the volunteering and you know everything that Jackie needs to know to come along and volunteer at the day centre. At this point, you'd just accept them to confirm that you want them to volunteer, and you can now see that under your pledges you've got one that's accepted and one that's declined, and nothing new or outstanding. So you could just accept them when they've actually come and done the volunteering. It doesn't have to be done up front. But the volunteering itself would obviously happen at the day centre. Jackie would come along and do her French speaking, helping out at the day centre, and then it might be that she wants to have some evidence of her volunteering, or you want to keep a track of how many hours you've had recorded with this volunteering activity through Wiltshire Together, so that you know how many volunteers have been connected with the platform and things like that. So you'd come to the same place, and when we finish this flow, I'll show you all the navigation options to find it. You'll come to the same place, and here under accepted you'll see these new options. So you've got hyperlinks off to Jackie's profile, hyperlink to the main activity title if you need it. You've got a drop down arrow on the right to close this off without assigning any hours. So it might be that you accept them and then she's there or doesn't show up or something, and you just want to clear it so that you can accept new volunteers. You can contact an administrator if you've got a worry about it, or you've got another quick link to message her from here. But assuming all you need to do is log that she came along on a Friday and did a couple of hours, what you can do is pop in the hours and the dates volunteered. So it's just a free text note, it might be. You can put it in any format that you want, really. But so if I put 2 hours on the 11th of October, and then confirm that it's 2 hours here and say they did this. Okay, and then you've successfully assigned hours to this volunteer request. You can see that this stat here of number of hours completed has gone up from 0 to 2, and the number of unique volunteers who have completed hours has gone up to 1. So Jackie has done 2 hours, and that's what those stats mean there. If you scroll down again to accepted, you'll see that she's still here. So this won't disappear if you've got a one-off event. It's meant to be that if you've got lots of regular volunteers, you can easily just come back here, put their dates and hours in, and record them each time. And if they stop volunteering for you at any point, you can then just go to the arrow and close off this request, and it will move them to the completed or ended tab at the end. Completed also shows you, if you look at this now, that you've got a new one there. It will also show you a record of all the volunteers and what they've completed at different times, so you can see that when you've recorded the hours and things of those dates. So that's that side of it. From got a name then, Jackie's side of things. She will get...
Sorry, Claire, that was the organisational side of it, wasn't it?
That's the organisational side of it, yeah. Okay. So from the volunteers side of it, Jackie's side of it, she will be able to look at her private dashboard, and you can see she's got 2 actions and 5 unread messages. So one of these might be from the volunteer manager about something. And she can also come in and see under her actions links to the activities that she's involved with. So if we ignore these top 2 because they're time banking, and we look at this one, you can see that this hasn't closed down on her side, even though she's got 2 completed hours. So if Jackie is more proactive than the volunteering organisation, she might want to come in and say when she's completed her volunteering and keep a track of it to make sure it doesn't get missed. So she might want to come in and say, 1 hour on Friday 4th November. And when she says that she's done this, it won't automatically record it. It will send a notification back to the volunteer organisation asking to confirm that volunteering, logging of those volunteering hours. So you can see here, you've marked it as done, waiting for Ashley to log your hours. So they'll only be able to have 1 outstanding log at a time, and it will need to be just verified. And it just means that people can't abuse the system and log loads of hours that they've done. It has to be verified by you. So back on the volunteer manager side, I'll just refresh this page, and you can see that under accepted, you've got a new note now that says Jackie Green has marked this as done, 1 hour on Friday 4th of November. So you can probably just copy that if you want to keep the same record and say 1 hour and she did this, and then her completed numbers will go back up to 3 hours, and now you've got 2 records of the 2 different dates that she's volunteered on. Obviously they say the same because I'm logging them both now in the session, but you'd be logging them on different days. So that's the rough demonstration of the flow. There's obviously other ins and outs depending on how you've got different volunteers doing different things, and you might have multiple activities. So if you're managing lots of volunteers and managing lots of volunteering activities, you'd probably always start by logging in and coming here to your personal dashboard, which looks like this. And when you scroll down, you can see that there's a tab for your volunteering. And when you go into this, it gives you lots of options for what you want to do. So these are set up for both volunteers and for volunteer managers. So there's a quick link to search other volunteering opportunities, but there's also a quick link for adding a new opportunity, look for volunteers. But the two that you'll probably most want to be using are these two here. So managing the opportunities that have been added by you and adding new volunteering opportunities. So if you click on the manage opportunities added by you, it will take you straight to your manage your activities page. So this has got several activity types listed on here, so you can see that there's quite a few. You might only have 1 or 2 volunteering opportunities, so it might not be a long list. But in this case, if we look at this one here, you can see that there are 0 outstanding volunteer requests to do with it, but you've got all the actions here as well, so you can jump to that manage volunteer page that we've been looking at. So if you ever get stuck trying to find out where this is, that's that route through to it. And you've also got this menu that's always here on the left as well, so that you can come to manage opportunities added by you to manage it. And yeah, if you want to take it off the site, you can delete it or end it early, and edit it, duplicate it if you've got one, and then you need to set basically the same thing up, but all for a different day or different location or something like that. You can quickly duplicate it. Lots of those options there. And then the other thing you can also do to manage multiple volunteers. So my dog's going crazy for a ball. Come here. It's stuck underneath under the TV unit. I can hear her scrabbling away at the carpet. If you're managing multiple volunteers, what you'd probably do is, I'll just go back into here and look at the manage volunteers page again for this one. So if it was me, I'd probably look at everyone that I've accepted, and make a note of their names. In this case, it's just Jackie, but if we assume that you've got 10 different volunteers all together and you want to just send a message out as a group, you can go, you can do it from multiple places. You can do it from here on the left under network and inbox, or you can do it here under inbox. But if you just create a new message, but rather than just sending it to one person, you can send it to everyone.
You can just click on them, can you?
Yeah. So if you're connected to your, I think we've got a free search actually in Wiltshire together. But yes, you can find the people that are in your volunteer group and click on all of them, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 messages, 6 people in this message, and send a message out to everybody. And that will just be a private message inside your inbox. No one else will see or know about it, so it's nice and secure. And if there's any issue inside of the message, you've got controls. So if I just show you another example of a message, inside of a message, you've got options to add new members, to leave the conversation if you don't want to be involved in it anymore. You can mute it, which if you don't want to get emails and notifications when new messages are posted, you can mute it. But if you still want to check it from time to time, you can do. And also other members can, that's one that's just been sent from this person. Let's see, one that's, should be that one. If you've got messages from other people like this that are in white, you'll have the options to block the user or report the message. So if there's anything negative going on, I don't think we've had any instance of that yet on Wiltshire Together, but if it does ever happen, you can report the message, and the admins will resolve it and escalate it if need be. If you are a volunteer, so in this example Jackie is, and she goes to her personal dashboard, what she's got is a stats section and her social impact area. And what you can do is print off this social impact page as a record of your verified volunteering, so that if they were a volunteer for like Duke Edinburgh or something like that.
So that was under your impact, sorry, was it?
Yes, yeah. So and it's either the dashboard menu, your account, your impact, it's called. or when you're on the dashboard, there's a little tab for impact. But yeah, you won't have time backing and challenges, but it will show you the amount of hours that you volunteered, how many different activities you've got involved with, and then it will give you a list at the bottom of all the things that you've done and the dates and things like that. So and then when you click print, it will prepare it ready for either saving as a PDF or printing off if you're going to take it to a job interview or anything like that.
Yeah.
So on Wiltshire Together, you can go to the help page, which is always up at the top, and on here you've got videos and links to a full guide for each thing. So there's a whole section for volunteering.